CPR is the Circle of Power and Respect, and it is like a morning meeting in the elementary classrooms.
We use our CPR during our opening group portion of the day just to kind of mix up more than just the students sharing about how their nights went. It kind of adds another component of that community building and relationship building with their peers.
The first thing we do is a greeting, which is students circling up and they are able to go around and say good morning to each other. Sometimes we do it as a simple greeting. Sometimes we do it in a funny accent, or we throw a koosh ball around, or we do multiple ways to greet each other.
All right, for our greeting today, we are actually going to do the one where we have to pay attention and clap at the same time as everybody else. Remember this one?
Yeah.
So we're going to send it around the circle. Do you remember this one, Brock?
Oh yeah, we did it in our chairs.
Kind of. You kind of, yeah, we did it in rows before. All right, so Mason, can you help me model trying to clap at the same time? Let's stand up and do it. Ready? All right, so we're going to pass it on like that. Everybody pop tall. Pop tall. There we go. Let's see if we can make it around the circle a few times.
The greeting is a chance for all the students, either individually to the person next to them or greeting the group as a whole. Just gives them a chance to welcome each of their peers, letting them know that they're happy they're there, and a way to just start to build that relationship.
The next part we would do is sharing, and at this point it can be a teacher can throw out a subject and the kids all have their opinion about something or tell information, and then usually after students all share, we allow them to ask some questions about what people have shared so they can find out more information.
All right, we are going to do volunteer share today, where we have somebody that's going to share something with us, and remember, this is where we practice our skills of asking questions, okay? So when we practice our skills of asking questions, we actually try to think of a question that gets the other person talking about what they shared, okay? Luis, what would you like to share?
I went to Sky Zone this weekend.
Went to Sky Zone. What questions do we have about that?
Mason?
Did you do the trampoline dodgeball?
Yeah, I did it. It was me, my sisters, and my brothers, and we were second place.
Other questions for Luis?
Javier?
Who did you go with and why did you go there?
We wanted to go there as a family trip because we never go anywhere. We're always in the house. So we just decided to go there and have some fun.
If you were in a class of 30, I've walked into other classrooms where they were doing kind of like a whip share of what was their favorite dessert or their fast food or something like that. And so that was a real quick way to also have the students be able to share on a specific topic.
Next, we would do an activity, and this is usually an activity that tries to include all of the students. Try not to have it be a competitive activity. Sometimes it is, but it's one that just kind of builds team spirit. Students sometimes have to work together and strategize. I would say it's probably what students would say is their favorite part.
Then we'll get ready for the activity here. I've chosen Smog's Jewels today. Okay, so Mason wants to be the first Smog. Then we're going to assign the color. Orange, blue, purple, green, yellow, 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 orange, blue, purple, green.
Green, got it. Wait, how's he green? He's gonna steal it. Yeah, then after.
Later if he gets out.
Oh, I color? Purple. Got you. You think don't even attend? Oh, I got you. Who lives in the cave?
have different types of activities. We've done a game called Driven to Trust, where the students are partnered up. One student's eyes are closed and they have to trust the peer behind them. We've done group juggling, where you start adding one ball at a time. Obviously, the bigger the group, the more complicating that can get. Today we did something different, where one person is changing something about themselves, and they have the observation piece of paying attention to what their peer looks like and the things that are on them, and taking note of what they were changing there.
And usually we end with a message, and a message sometimes can be something that's happening during our day. It could be talking about daily announcements. It could be talking about, for example, a penny drive that's going on, just sometimes as reminders. But sometimes we go back and we also talk about maybe things that our class is doing well or things that our classroom needs to improve on, and we kind of strategize on how we're going to do better, and then we take that with us throughout the day.
Remember last week I requested that we try to get 90% of us to incentive on Friday, which means I want you to get that missing work turned in, okay? Just taking a look at the rest of the week. Tomorrow is Decade Day, so you dress up like the 50s, the 60s. So on Friday is the Sea of Red. And then we are here, Pi Day for math heads. Next week is the first day of spring, but remember spring break is coming and the end of third quarter is also coming, which is why you want to get that missing work turned in before you go to break.
It can look differently since we don't have a lot of things that change on a regular basis. Today was a little bit more unique. I would have a morning message that allowed the students to see what some of those changes were. I've also used several resources where, depending on the activity or the greeting that they put together, they also included a message that can bring information about what they're going to be doing later on in that morning meeting.
So CPR, Circle of Power and Respect, allows students to do things they normally may not do, such as sitting in a circle with classmates, giving them eye contact, speaking in front of a group, talking in front of a group, having to listen, having to ask questions, how to do that appropriately and how to do that respectfully. This is sometimes a skill that we don't get to do or don't get to practice as much in the academic part of the classroom.
My students, they love to have any type of a movement break. They love to interact with their peers, except it's also an area that they struggle in. So anytime that I can allow them an opportunity to interact with their peers in a more structured but yet entertaining or engaging way, the students really look forward to having our morning meeting every day.
The best thing about the Circle of Power and Respect is that it creates relationships within the classroom. As a teacher, I learn more about my students, but the students also learn more about their classmates. And in doing so, it really creates a community.